Yeah. 3-6 Mafia.
Yeah. Whoa. Hey, yeah. Whoa. Say what? Whoa. 3-6 Mafia. It's going down. Whoa. Y'all know what time it is. We ain't playing with you. In the club, in the street.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into a new era. That's right. After months of planning, months of preparation, we are officially launching the No BS podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Isaiah Leong. I am joined by my partner, Trevor Williams. And man, it's been a long time. A lot of thoughts, a lot of planning came into this. And I am really happy that this came into fruition. Before I go any further, though, I want to thank a few people. I want to thank Mark Medina from USA Today. I met Mark at Oracle Arena 3 years ago, and I really wanted to get into the sports media industry, but I wasn't really sure if I wanted to take that route because, I was really sensitive at that time about how the haters would react to some of the stuff I say, because as you guys all know, and you've probably all seen on Quarantine Chats, our sister show, I say a lot of outlandish and bold stuff. And when you do that, you're going to get a lot of haters. So I talked to Mark Medina about it at Oracle Arena, and he just, gave me some really, really good advice, and he helped push me into that direction and helped me become the person that I am right now. So thank you, Mark, for your contribution to my life. I also want to thank my guys, Sammy Block, Nolan Harmon, watching you guys on Buzzer Beaters, watching you guys do your thing. You guys really inspired me to go out and create my own show. And I also want to thank my guy, Stephen Wang. We work together on Quarantine Chats, just so much fun. Stephen has a lot of patience with me. He lets me, say a lot of these outrageous, bold stuff, and he doesn't come in and interfere and end up cutting me off. He just lets me do my thing. Really appreciative of you. And last but not least, I gotta thank my guy Trevor Williams, man. Me and Trevor, as you guys all know, we both do Quarantine Chats. We've had really good discussions at night over the phone, like every day, right? We've always had our discussions over the phone, and we were just like, one day we were just like, let's launch a podcast, man. We would make good discussions, and totally agree with you, man. Totally agree with you. Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys can clearly tell by the title of our podcast, No BS, that's what our podcast is going to be about. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. We're not going to give you the normal media type BS. We are going to give you the straightforward, brutally honest answers about everything. We're going to talk sports. We're going to get into current events in the world. We're going to get into food, places we love to travel, our favorite airline company, places we love to vacation. We're going to get into everything. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys all come and join us on this ride. And this new era is off to a great start, man.
I also want to put a disclaimer. If you see me rubbing my eyes a lot, it's because of allergies and like my eyes are stinging. So if you see me rubbing or touching my eyes, it's because of that. So it's not me crying throughout the show or anything. That's the first thing I want to get out the way. So people's like, why does he keeps touching his eyes? That's the reason. And yeah, me and Isaiah have been talking about this podcast for a while. I'm excited for it. Moving from the days of Carpool Chats, being the first guest, and then coming on periodically and sharing my talking points. It's an exciting experience. And now we have our own show. It's like, it feels like we're ESPN at this point. We have so many shows starting to pop up on Quarantine Chats. It feels like one big happy family, and like, can't wait to see where this podcast goes and see how it grows and develops as time changes and the stuff that we talk about, because who knows, we may get a lot of different viewers, from sports to people who want to look at vacationing or find out good foods to try out that they never thought of before. So I think this is a great podcast to experience it. And then like, we'll give you like the real truth facts that we believe and what we think that should happen. But at the end of the day, we are just, two amateurs in analyzing things at the end of the day. So you can take our stuff with a grain of salt and see how, you put that in your day of life.
Yeah, very well said, Trevor. And also, I wanted to add some stuff, and that is, I've seen a lot of comments out there. A lot of people are like, "You guys had a great thing going with quarantine chats. Why are you quitting this and starting the No BS podcast?" I just want to tell you guys that we're not quitting quarantine chats. We are just branching out and starting our own podcast because me and Trevor, we love to talk sports. So why not limit talking it on one day when you can talk multiple days? So that's basically what we're doing. So yeah, we're not quitting quarantine chats. Quarantine chats is still going to be there. In fact, we're going to have a great guest in Rachel L. Hill come on tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific, to talk all things Cleveland sports, Browns, Cavaliers, and Ohio State football. Tune in for that on our sister station, Quarantine Chats. But you can catch me and Trevor here on No BS every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific. We're going to bring you the hottest topics ever. We're not going to be afraid to go controversial, and also we're not going to be afraid to call people out when we need to.
Yep, we're trying to do our job at the end of the day, and we just got to be careful in how we do things, and so we don't get canceled or anything. We're just gonna play it as we go, and try to have a good time with this podcast, make it enjoyable and exciting. Isaiah, I think your screen's frozen.
Having some technical difficulties. Trevor,
Yeah, and you're back.
Oh yeah, you were frozen for a bit, but
yeah, you were frozen too as well.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
There's nothing we can do about it. So if we freeze throughout the episode, we deeply apologize for that. It's hard when you're on two sides of the United States, East and West, so internet has to go a long way to make this thing happen.
Yeah, man, we're gonna power through it. So anyways, guys, we're going to start off. We're going to kick off this new era with our first topic, a very, very exciting topic. The NBA is officially back, ladies and gentlemen. 3 months of no sports. We are finally going to have sports. There is light at the end of the tunnel. The NBA announced today that they are going to have a 22-team plan. They're going to invite 22 teams, the 16 current playoff seeds, plus, they're going to invite 6 other teams like the Blazers, the Spurs, the Kings, my guy Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns, the Washington Wizards are going to be invited. They're going to play 8 regular season games, and in those 8 regular season games, teams like the Suns, the Blazers, the Wizards, they have a chance to catch the 8th and the 7th seed, and if they can tie with those teams, then they're going to play a play-in tournament where I believe, I might be wrong on this, but those 2 teams are going to play each other for the right to make the playoffs. It's a very exciting time. I've been dying for basketball. Trevor, what is your thoughts on this 22-team NBA resumption plan that the NBA is laying out?
I think I've seen a lot of takes on it. People are upset, like, why only play 22? Why not let everybody play? It's to the point that where you look at it, it's like if the team doesn't even have a chance of getting in and playing those 8 regular season games, what is the point of that team coming back and playing? You're putting the players at injury, and you don't need to do that. Unless you treat it like if it was March Madness where everyone ended up playing, that was one way to take it. You have 30 teams in the NBA. You set it up, and you have like a couple teams that have buys, and you work your way down till you get to the NBA Finals. Like, that's what they could have done, but they chose to go with the 22 teams, and you end up having 8 regular season games. I would have done like 8 preseason games. Then you got into the March Madness because you set up the seeding that way. Then you run through the rest of August and late into September to finish that all out. And you can still keep it to Game 7 if you wanted to, or work your way as you move closer to it. You increase the number of games in that sense to, back to Game 7. But I would like them, I don't know, it's something that's going to be interesting to watch and how it plays out. And it's for a unique time. It's going to probably happen once in a lifetime. We'll never see this type of scenario happen again, hopefully. we just continue to move forward from that.
Yeah, well said, Trevor. For me, my biggest take from this is I'm just happy that we have sports.
I completely agree with you on that.
The last 3 to 4 months have been downright brutal, man. There's been no sports.
I know what you're talking about. Because, there was a part in time where there was no sports, and then I saw in May, the sports were slowly making a comeback. You had, NASCAR. I watched a little bit of horse racing, just, see some action, seeing people get, into betting, even though horse racing, it's not my main go-to, but, when I see it, be like, let me see what the names of the horses so I can get a good chuckle here and there about it.
Yeah, but Trevor, some of us out here, I love your horse racing, but some of us out here, we don't really care for horse racing, unfortunately. NASCAR, I'm not really that big of a fan. Golf, I could never sit down and watch a round of golf. But yeah, man, I'm just really happy that basketball is back. And, my biggest takeaway from this is my guy, Devin Booker, who you, Ryan, and Steven have numerous occasions criticized for and said, oh, Devin Booker, he's not even a top 40 player in the NBA, all that stuff. Devin Booker has a chance to not only make the playoffs, he has a chance to go on a Cinderella run, and he has a chance to become Finals MVP and win the NBA Finals with the Phoenix Suns. I'm just so happy, man. Imagine if that happened. Nobody can ever mock me in my Devin Booker stance ever again.
I'm sorry, Isaiah, but if he gets the 8th seed, he's playing against LeBron James, AD. That's not going to end well. They're going to get swept in 4 or 5. They might get one lucky game out of there, but they're not going to beat LeBron James. They may have a chance if they get the 7th seed, but they're not. I feel like they're going to fall in the 8th seed. It has to face LeBron and the Lakers, and they're just going to get destroyed. And that's going to be end of your Cinderella story. I'm just going to put that straight there and simple. And that was my first no BS for the day.
Oh, man. Yeah, you're right. They would get swept or probably be in 5 games. But, hey, man, for a city like Phoenix to make the playoffs, you know how long they've missed the playoffs, recently? I think it's been what? The last time they made the playoffs was back in 2010 with Kobe Bryant and Ron Artest.
10 years.
Yeah, it's been 10 years. Them making the playoffs would be like winning the Super Bowl. Hell, they might even throw a parade in the streets of Phoenix if they made the playoffs with how dysfunctional their franchise has been.
The parade would happen if they beat the Lakers. I guarantee you there will be a parade in Phoenix. But that would be like a Game 7, and that would be in LA. So when they come home, they get a nice parade.
If they were to beat my Lakers, there will be a parade in Phoenix, but there will be a flood in my house because I will be very heartbroken. I will be extremely pissed off, and I will probably be crying myself to sleep every night.
I can see it now.
Dude, that would be a nightmare, man. Devin Booker, my favorite player, beats my favorite team. Oh, my gosh.
Like your 49ers losing in the Super Bowl. You all should have won that. I don't know why you let Patrick Mahomes come back in it.
Dude, I'm not even going to get to that, man. I've had enough spears into the heart, man. It's been –
That's a story for another day. I'll leave it at that.
Exactly. It's a story for another day. Trevor, I got one question for you about the NBA returning. Do you think a dark horse team like the Celtics or the Rockets, or even the team that my guy Ryan Schreiner hates the most, the Philadelphia 76ers, or even Martin Garcia's Miami Heat, you think a dark horse team with the extended layoff that it has been in the NBA, do you think a dark horse team can come in and upset one of the favorites like the Lakers, Clippers, or Bucks and take the title?
It's very possible for that to happen. Obviously, these players have their own home gyms and working out 24/7 to stay in shape. You can see on their Instagrams or Twitters them working out, preparing for the season to come back. So obviously it's the young guns and the young people on all the teams are going to be that one step ready to go and ready to battle. You could see like the seeds, like the 4th and 5th seed being the dark horse in the group and upsetting a 1 or 2 seed late in the NBA playoffs. So it's like, but by that time, those players who are in the 1 or 2 seeds would have a games already warmed up. So it's like, it's really hard to say that, yes, a dark horse could upset, but you just have to get hot. That's all you have to do in the playoffs. Once you get hot, you can start storming through all the way to the NBA Finals. And we saw that with the Dallas Mavericks when they took down the super Miami Heat. All you need to do is get hot. At the end of the day, once you're hot, you're hot. Unless, like, the other team is hot as well, then you're battling out. But if they're not, you can easily win the game in 5 or 6, and you move on to the next round.
Yeah, as for me, I really do think that like a dark horse team like the Celtics, the Rockets, the 76ers, teams that if the playoffs had begun in April, they would have had no chance. Like the 76ers, you know, Ben Simmons, he had like a back injury. Joel Embiid, he had some type of major injury that would have caused him to probably miss the first round of the playoffs. And if you look at it right now, those guys are going to be healthy when the playoffs start in August. So I think that this really benefits a lot of the dark horse teams. I think that if you look at it right now, it's even though the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Bucks are your presumptive favorites, I don't really think you can have a favorite because players haven't played in a long time, so they're going to obviously be rusty, and you have people coming back from injury like a Joseph Nurkic from the Portland Trailblazers, the center, who suffered a really bad fracture of his leg last February. He's going to be able to play in the playoffs. Nobody ever thought that he was going to be able to play this season, and now with the NBA season, you know, resuming in August, he's going to be able to play. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, who knows if they will come back. If they come back, that changes everything. So I think everybody, it's a blank slate in the NBA. You know, I think that if you have favorites, I think that you don't really know what you're talking about because I feel like right now with where the season is, anybody can win it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Anybody can win it at this point in the NBA season. It's just like who gets in the zone, who gets in the rhythm, that will dictate how these playoffs will play out. And like I said, like the 1 seeds for the East and West are probably going to play 4 or 5 games at like the minimum, unless they start to really struggle due to like getting back in tempo. But like you have those 8 regular season games. So all these players are going to have 8 games to warm up in that sense. So you can see who's going to be able to hit that in sync and start controlling their destiny in the playoffs. But it's like you're going to have to wait and see how these first few games go. Obviously, games 1 and 2 of the regular season that they're going to start back up, it's going to be sloppy basketball. Things are not going to be finished. But once you hit the game 8, you're going to start to see what players are going to start making that superstar moment, starting to define their legacy in this type of playoff role. And you're going to see some crazy shots, last-second shots to, you know, that starts a birth of a legacy for some players. And like it could be your boy Devin Booker hits a game winner and gives the Suns an opportunity to play the Lakers in the next round if they wanted to, or like continue in like game 3, have a boost of morale. But, you know, that'd probably be heading into Phoenix. So they're going to be excited about that and saying we can compete with the Lakers and make it an interesting series.
Yeah, speaking of the Lakers, I really do think that some of the teams, you know, the Lakers are the number 1 seed right now. They've got a 6-game lead, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Trevor. I think it's a 6-game lead on the Clippers for the 2nd seed.
I'll double check.
Yeah, they've got a really big lead on the Clippers, and right now they're most definitely going to get the number 1 seed. The only way the Lakers aren't getting the number 1 seed is if the Lakers lose out. They go 0-8 in those 8 regular season games, and the Clippers go 8-0, which highly doubt it. But the Lakers are going to get number 1, so that means the teams that they could face potentially for the 8th seed is the Pelicans, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Portland Trailblazers, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Phoenix Suns, the 5 teams. Out of all those 5 teams that I just named, the Grizzlies. I would definitely want to face the Grizzlies because they are young. They're extremely raw. I'm not scared of the Grizzlies at all. I don't think anybody in the Grizzlies can stop LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The Phoenix Suns, I love my boy Devin Booker a lot. I hope he goes off for 40 points a game in that series, but I don't think they have the pieces needed to beat the Lakers. Oubre, they're one of their top players. He's probably going to miss the rest of the season because of a back injury, I believe. So that's a major loss for them. Phoenix and Memphis, I'm not scared of. New Orleans Pelicans, Lonzo Ball, Zion, Brandon Ingram, with the way they can push the tempo. I'm kind of worried about that because, you haven't played a lot. Now you jump right in and you got to play a team that goes up and down, up and down, up and down. For a Laker team, for a veteran team like the Lakers, that is extremely tough. I'm not as scared, but I have a little bit of fear when it comes to that series because I have a feeling, the Lakers need to get ready for their big battles with the Clippers and big battles with the Rockets in the second round in conference finals. So I don't want that first round, taking a lot of energy away from the Lakers, especially with the long layoff that we've had. So the Pelicans, I'm kind of worried about that matchup. The Spurs, I'm not worried at all because no disrespect to the Spurs. They are a great basketball organization, but they just haven't been good this year. They play a slow tempo game. So that would fit right where the Lakers want to. And I believe like nobody on the Spurs can stop Anthony Davis, LeBron James. The matchup I'm really worried about, Trevor, hear me out on this.
Mm-hmm.
The Portland Trailblazers. If the Portland Trailblazers get the 8th seed, they are going to be in a very tough battle because not just you have Joseph Nurkic, who's coming back, big man in the middle. You've got the guards, Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, who on any given night, they can score 50 or 60 points. So these guys are dynamic. You have those two guys. Plus, their bench is not that bad. So if the Lakers land the Blazers, that's the matchup I really want to avoid because I think if they play, they will play 7 games. I could definitely see it.
Yeah, I could see that as well. And you want to, I found the record for the Lakers. They're 49-14, and the Clippers are 44-20. So it looks like, yes, the Clippers are about 6 games behind if you look at losses, but for wins, they're only 5 games back. So it's really hard to say since the NBA schedule, so many teams play ahead of each other and then they have weeks off, and somehow at the end they all end up having 82 games being played. So it's really hard saying, yes, this is the reason why they are in the 2nd seed, because the season ended abruptly. So some teams were ahead and some teams were behind. So that's where that stands. And I'm looking at the East, my boys, the Orlando Magic are the 8th seed. They have a chance, but they play the Bucks against Giannis. They're not going to win. I have to say my Orlando Magic ain't going to win it. I'm sorry, but they're not.
Aaron Gordon?
They're not going to win it.
Aaron Gordon?
They're not going to beat Giannis. Giannis is too good.
Too good.
Too good.
Aaron
That's
Gordon
what I'm saying.
Aaron Gordon can one man handle the Bucks?
No, Giannis is a future MVP of the league. Come on, we all know this. When you have a future MVP of the league, they control the game. They know how to manage the game. They know how to manage the clock, and they know how to win. And that's what Giannis has done last year, and we'll see it again in this playoffs. He will know how to win these playoff games when it comes down to it. So I think the Bucks are they're a favorite. I think they have that young talent to be able to persevere this long layoff that they had compared to a lot of teams in the East. And it's going to be fun to watch. And we're going to keep a close eye on what happens. I do want to see if Orlando Magic does get a Game 7 out of it. I'm going to be, hooting and hollering all the way through it and just be like, yo, Giannis is about to lose this game.
If they can even get one game, that would be a major win for the Orlando Magic.
I agree with you on that.
But yeah, man. Let's talk about the NBA has outlined a schedule. Before we move on to our topic about Vic Fangio, I want to get your thoughts on this, Trevor. So it looks like with the NBA starting back up, training camp is going to start the end of June. Players are going to fly out to Orlando July 7th, and then they're going to restart the season on July 31st. That means they're going to have like 3 weeks of training camp at home, and then they're going to have they're going to go to Orlando, have another 2 to 3 week of practice, and then the regular season games begin, and then we go to playoffs mid-August, and then from mid-August all the way until the second week of October. That's when your playoffs are, and then after that, you have the NBA draft, which I believe is on October 18. I might be wrong on the dates. October 18 is when you have the draft, and then 3 days later, October 21st, you have free agency, and then after free agency on October 21st. November 10th is when the NBA will start next season's training camp, and then December 1st is when you start the season. My take on this is, before you go, Trevor, is I think that the NBA should have given the players more of a break. You know, I know they've had this 3-month layoff and stuff like that, but come on. You know, you and me both know the playoffs are a different animal. It gets harder in the playoffs. It gets more physical in the playoffs. The playoffs are just a different beast overall. And I feel bad for a veteran team like my Los Angeles Lakers and other veteran teams out there, because their body is going to have a lot of wear and tear on it, and you're not even going to give them a month of off season before you jump into next season with training camp starting in November. I think that's downright preposterous. I think it's a terrible move by Adam Silver, and I believe that if they don't change anything from now until the start of next season, which is when training camp starts on November 10th, I think, Adam, you're going to see a lot of major injuries early on, because you just had the playoffs, all that wear and tear, and then you just go right to next season a month later. So I think I don't like that.
Well, how I see it is, like, they can't really move the season a whole too much, because like you have to play a certain amount of games in the NBA, and like all the TV rights and all the TV contracts. So like the bare minimum that they can do is probably like 56 games instead of doing an 82 game season like they normally do. So like treat it as if it's like a lockout almost, and you have a short amount of time to play. The next point I would say is that even if they start December 1st, like the seasoned veterans don't really have to show up for training camp. They can space it out when they show up, so they're not putting too much wear and tear on their body, giving them enough time to compete. Even like if you look at the NBA, the first few weeks are not that crucial in the season, because like you could be 6-6 at some point. It's like, okay, but we're still in the hunt for the playoffs. It's not that bad. So like the veterans can almost like pick and choose what games they want to play in, and what are like the deciding factors. Be like, all right, we need you to play in this game to, you know, better yourself up for the future playoffs and trying to battle for that playoff seed. So when you have that one up on that better team, you have a better seeding and position. So if it's like, I'm going to pick the Bucks as an example. If they're playing like the Cavaliers like the first game, obviously they don't need to play Giannis that game. Like losing that game is not crucial at all to them having like top 3 seed. Like it happens, you lose to teams, players decide it's like, I need to rest this one out. Like it's load management. That's what ends up happening. So that's what more of the older players are going to do. They're going to be like, I want to play in this game. Oh, I want to get back in the rhythm. So I might play against this easier team versus me putting up against like, I'm playing the Lakers and the Clippers. So do I really want to go full force in this game? And I still have the rest of next year to still play through. So that's how they're going to end up looking at it in that sense. And like even the NBA draft coming up in like October, those players can filter in, and there's going to be probably a lot of movement in that free agency window from veteran players moving to different teams. So we have to watch how that unfolds in the upcoming months and stuff like that.
All I'm just going to say is next season, the start of next season, be prepared for a lot of injuries, and be prepared for a lot of load management, because I don't think players like Giannis or Kawhi or even LeBron, I don't think they're going to start next season after all that wear and tear they just had a month before. So just watch out for that, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's move on to our next topic. Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys all know, with the George Floyd situation that is going on right now, our country has erupted into chaos. And Broncos head coach Vic Fangio chimed in on that situation. He condemned the killing of George Floyd. He said that he hopes that the officers be brought to justice. But there was a quote from Vic Fangio's press conference that he had that really stood out, and that was Vic Fangio said, "I don't see racism at all in the NFL." I'm going to start off with this one. Trevor, you know me, man. I am probably the biggest Vic Fangio fan out there. I've been banging the drum for this guy ever since he was the defensive coordinator for my San Francisco 49ers from 2011 to 2015. This guy's a terrific coach. He's a terrific human being. But I got to say, even though I'm a big fan of his, I can't defend his statement at all. I thought what he said was really tone deaf. I know that he didn't mean to say what he said. He meant it a different way, which was he's been in the NFL coaching for 30, 35 years, and he meant to say that, he's been in the locker room for 30, 35 years, and he meant to say that he doesn't see any racism in the locker room. He used the wrong words, and he said, there's no racism in the NFL, and people took it and thought that he meant that there's no racism in the entire NFL in general, which we know that's completely false. I'm really glad that he apologized the next day, and my advice to Vic Fangio is, Vic, you really got to choose your words carefully during these current times that we are in. If you say some stuff and you use the wrong words, people are going to take it very differently, and people are going to take it very personal. So got to learn from it and, just move on.
I would like to add to stuff like that. Like you said, Isaiah, word choice is so crucial in this time in America and the crisis that we're all going through. It's just like you got to be aware of what you say on social media. There are people who are very sensitive right now. Emotions are high, and you just got to be like, all right, let me see what I'm about to say. Let me proofread it. Let me double check. Let me even ask one of my friends who might be African-American or Black and saying, is this acceptable for me to say out on social media? And if they say, no, it's not acceptable, you can ask them, how can I change it so I can make it sound like I'm supporting you guys and I'm saying this is what I want to believe in. That's a safer angle to approach. You can even see what happened in Drew Brees. He was asked a question about the flag. He said he didn't want to disrespect it and about the military, but he wasn't aware of what was going on, and he got backlash from it. Like all his teammates, LeBron James, they said, you need to be quiet. You don't understand what's actually going on. And the next day he came out, he apologized, and he wanted to be an ally supporting his team. Even his teammates came out, he accepted it. They accepted his apology, and they're ready to move forward. I think that's what it's going to need to take. I think Aaron Rodgers said it the best. It's time for us to actually listen and understand and learn instead of us pushing it underneath the rug. I think this is the time for us to come together as a community, and I see it right now. America is starting to come together and trying to take the issue that has been suppressing Black people for a long time, and we're bringing it forefront to the light and be like, we need to change this now. This is getting out of hand. And that's what we got to do. It's like the elections coming up. It's what's going to happen. People got to vote and do their part to get things to change in America. If you don't vote, you're basically almost similar, like you're part of the problem if you don't vote. So go to the polls, use your voice, and just try to support your allies in different gender backgrounds and everything across the board. Try to support one another instead of trying to tear each other down in this sense.
Yeah, Trevor, 1,000% agree with you. Very well said. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add on the Vic Fangio's controversy. You got any final words on this?
I just gotta say that, like what we said previous, just be careful what you say. I understand some things happen. You may slip a word, or you're typing on your phone and then you hit that post. And you'd be like, well, I just misspelled a word, or I put something in a wrong context. You can try to backtrack and either try to delete it or make an edit. I understand Twitter is really difficult when you try to make an edit. Like, you can't really edit your tweet. You have to take it down. So it's just like, be careful in what you say and just try to support the people who are being oppressed right now, and just reach out and find ways to support them throughout this time of crisis, and try to bring, justice forth where it belongs and what we need to strive for in this country. And I think once we do that, we're taking steps in the right direction. I see my friends day in, day out making posts, educating people, and I love it. I continue, guys. Keep on doing it. Show the world what's being hidden from the media and everything else. You guys are using your voices correctly, and I appreciate it. I thank each and every single one of you who are supporting in this matter and Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, man, Trevor, you said it all. Ladies and gentlemen, take Trevor's advice to the heart. It was great life advice, but anyways, moving on to our final segment of our pilot episode. Dude, Trevor, where has the time gone, man?
We're getting close to that hour, so we're doing great on this podcast.
We are great. But man, the time is just flowing by really quick. But anyways, the final segment that we are going to be doing today is we are going to be introducing a new segment. We do this on quarantine chats, not as much as we should, but me and Trevor are bringing this segment to No BS. It's called the Power 5 segment. I got to give a shout out to my guy, Stephen Wang, for introducing that segment. The Power 5 segment is simple. Every episode, me and Trevor are going to give our top 5 favorite donuts or pizzas like we're doing today, or favorite fruits, or top 5 college football teams, top 5 NBA teams, top 5 shooting guards in the NBA, top 5 anything. That's what the Power 5 segment is about. And as I told you guys just now, we're doing our top 5 pizzas. Trevor, I think we're gonna go like I give my number 1, then you give your number 1. And
let's start
2,
with 5 and work up to our favorite ones. I think that's the best way to handle this.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna start at 5, and then we're gonna work our way up to number 1. All right, my favorite, or my number 5 on the list, is the pepperoni pizza, the classic, man.
That is a good choice. I have to respect that choice, but you'll be shocked what my number 5 is. But I want you to explain why you put pepperoni at the number 5th spot.
It's just the OG, man. You just can't go wrong with pepperoni, whether it's pepperoni on a deep dish or pepperoni on New York style, pepperoni on St. Louis style pizza. You just can't go wrong with the original pepperoni pizza. That's basically why I have it at 5.
That's a very good reason, Isaiah. But my 5th spot is the classic cheese pizza. No matter where you go, people will always order your cheese pizza. You can't hate it. People will always take a slice and add it with another topping that's available at whatever party you go to, whatever social event. People will always grab a slice of cheese pizza.
Oh man, dude, I had the cheese pizza as my 4th choice. That's
I had pepperoni as my 4th spot.
Oh,
so
man.
We thought the same almost on how we want to rank them.
Yeah.
It's a great.
All right. I already said my 4th choice. It's the cheese pizza. The reason why I put it as my 4th is it's the OG, man. Cheese pizza, the original, like Trevor said. If you go to any party and you just had cheese pizza, anybody would take it. Cheese pizza is just delicious. The cheesier, the better. That's why I have cheese pizza as my number 4.
For the 4th spot with my pepperoni, like Isaiah said, it's a classic. when you go to
The
events,
classic.
pepperoni's there, whether you like it or not. It's always there. Going to social events, pepperoni's there. When people ask a poll for pizza, pepperoni's always on that list, whether you like it or not. It's there and it won't go away.
Exactly, man. Well said. You will never get it wrong with pepperoni or cheese. Moving on to our number three. My number three is something that I think Trevor is going to be like, oh my gosh, I got to get out of here. And that is the pineapple and ham pizza.
Isaiah, you can't put this on the list. You can't put this on the list. Why?
Hey, man, pineapple and ham pizza. The reason
Oh no,
why
ham is too far now. That is too far, Isaiah.
The reason why I'm putting ham and pineapple is because that's the classic island favorites, man. You guys all know me. I'm from Hawaii. I grew up there. I was living there for the first 12 years of my life. That's the island favorite. Ham and pineapple. You can never go wrong. Trevor's probably going to massively disagree with me on this, but you can never go wrong with pineapple, man. You just can't go wrong with that.
For me, the third spot was a very difficult spot to debate. I was going back and forth between these two, so I will say it's tied for number 3 on this. I will have to say sausage pizza or meatball pizza.
Oh, meatball pizza, damn.
Those are my 2 ties. It depends on how you look at the 2 and what type of sausage you put on the pizza. That's why it's like, it's up in the air, but meatball is always a meatball, no matter how you make the meatball in that sense. So like, it's great to put on pizza. How to cut it up, how do you put it on? It's just like, boom, it's a nice taste of meat. And it's like, you just can't go wrong with it. There's certain meats that don't belong on pizza, like salami, but then again, that looks like just pepperoni to me. So that's like, nah. But pepperoni, no, not pepperoni. Meatballs and sausage, I feel like they're a little misrepresented, but like if you eat them and try them out, they're actually pretty good at the end of the day. I think people would rank sausage higher than meatball, and that's fair game because I've seen people order sausage as well at parties and social events. So that's why I could see sausage being number 3 for some people in this sense.
All right, well said, Trevor. My number 2. Man, we're down to the final 2. My number 2 is the garlic chicken pesto pizza.
Ooh, that sounds very interesting. Explain what that is, Isaiah.
Yeah, so I don't know if this restaurant is very famous across the United States, but it's one of my favorite restaurants. It's just like 20 minutes from my house. It's called John's Incredible Pizza. It's like a buffet. You've got your salad bar, you've got your pasta bar, you've got your pizza bar, you've got your dessert bar. It's just amazing. It's like where little kids go for their birthday parties, and man, like you just walk in there and you're a little kid again. It's just amazing. But enough about John's Incredible Pizza. The reason why the garlic chicken pesto pizza is one of my favorites is because I love pesto, man. Trevor like knows this. He knows what I was eating pre-show, and that was a pesto toast with smoked salmon. I love pesto so much. You put your pesto sauce instead of your tomato sauce. You put your cheese. You put your garlic chicken. It just fills your body up. It's so delicious. Anything with pesto, you just can't go wrong. Pesto pasta, pesto toast, pesto pizza, pesto for the win, man.
Isaiah, I respect that choice, but my number 2 spot is not like yours. My number 2 spot is buffalo chicken pizza. You have a nice spicy kick. It's like you're putting hot wings on your pizza. When you order pizza, you always order hot wings, but if you can't get the hot wings, buffalo chicken pizza is the second runner up to that. It gives you that spicy kick, and it gives you that great buffalo sauce that you get with it. It's a nice spicy kick, and you can't get wrong with a little spice in your, pizza on a Friday night. Come on, guys. If you don't have any spiciness on your pizza during a Friday night, what's wrong with you? What are you? You're missing out on something great. It's like wings and beer. Like you got to have those two things together when you're watching a sporting event. And that's like what with pizza. Yeah, pizza and wings. And you watch a sporting event. Come on, like it's like an American tradition almost.
Trevor, I love the energy, man. I really do. But the reason why I couldn't put the Buffalo Wings pizza on my list is because, man, I can't even get it out. But
Because it's not wrong.
nah, man, it's because I can't handle spiciness. I just can't. I went to John's Incredible Pizza and ate that buffalo chicken pizza. It felt like my mouth was entirely on fire. It felt like my head was gonna explode. That's how spicy it was. I was like drinking water every second. I was like, I just can't handle it, man. I just can't handle spiciness, spicy noodles, kimchi. Not for me, man. Just not for me. But go ahead.
You let me down, Isaiah. You let me down on this. Buffalo, that spice. It's that spice. Like you can get the buffalo chicken mild if you had to. Like it doesn't have to be blazing hot. Some people like the blazing hot. But like you just need the mild. Mild gets you through so much. And like you can't go wrong with it.
I went to Wingstop and I couldn't even handle the mild spicy wings. That's how you know my spice tolerance is so bad.
I am hurt, Isaiah. I am hurt.
Watch for my next birthday party, or when our No BS podcast reaches a milestone, like 20 episodes or whatever. We're gonna have a party. Trevor is gonna bring all the spicy foods in the world because spicy food is my kryptonite.
It's gonna be like wings, guys and wings.
Oh man! All right. Anyways, our last one, the last pizza on our list. Trevor, I'm going to give you the honor for the last one. Number one, what's your favorite?
The last one will surprise many people. It's probably the one that you probably have heard of, but you don't really know if you want to try it. I'm going to go with Baked Ziti Pizza. It's a legendary pizza, and you just can't leave it out of the mix. It's how you make it. I understand some people don't know what Baked Ziti Pizza is. I'm going to pull it up for you. But Isaiah released your number one spot as I pull up Baked Ziti Pizza.
My number one is something that I'm pretty sure none of you guys have ever heard about unless you went to that restaurant that I talked about earlier, John's Incredible Pizza. It's called the Peanut Butter Pizza. You can only get that pizza at John's Incredible Pizza. That is their world famous pizza. It is just so good, man. It's, you've got your tomato sauce, and then you've got your peanut butter, and then you've got your cheese, you've got your pepperoni. I know it might sound disgusting, but if you try it, it's actually really, really good. Plus, they got those little peanuts they put on top of the pepperoni, which makes it just seem so cute. So yeah, that's my favorite pizza ever, the peanut butter pizza.
All right, I have found the Baked Ziti Pizza. I will share my screen. And you just look at how great this pizza is. It's like Italian heaven right there. Pizza, Baked Ziti, Italian. You just got this is what it is. This is Italian paradise. And it's like, to me, it's like the king of all pizza. One slice will fill you up. So if you order a whole pie, that will basically last you a whole week. That's how much it fills me up. And I bet you if you had a slice of Baked Ziti, most people can get like one down, maybe two if they're really hungry, but a third slice, I have not even attempted it because that's how so filling it is. And if you got to try it when you get a chance, because I know some Baked Ziti, it's hard to find. I know for me, I have a local pizzeria called Sicily Twos, and it's close to me, and they make it. And I was like, let me try it one day. I did. I loved it. And anytime I saw it when I went into the pizza shop, I'd be like, let me get a slice of that. And they gave it to me happily. Obviously, I paid for it, and it was worth it. Every time I go and see it, I buy it. It's like it's a classic. It's a tradition, and when you see it, it's a treat. That's how your number one should be. It's a treat. You don't always get it, but when you do, it makes you feel satisfied.
Exactly. Trevor said it well. It's a treat. It's got to be unique, and it's just got to be satisfying. But the thing I want to add about Trevor's Baked Ziti Pizza is what I got to try it one day, by the way. What I like about it is They have the baked ziti, the pasta, submerged with the cheese, which is very
It's great.
cheesy.
Right?
Yes. That's what I love about that pizza, man. Like, I gotta try it one day. By the way, shout out to you guys that are watching. Shout out to you, John's Incredible Pizza. Keep up the great work. Shout out to isn't it like Sicily Pizza or whatever?
Sicily's too. Yep.
Sicily's too, yeah. Guys, go check that out. Sicily's too. John's Incredible Pizza. You guys got to try the baked ziti pizza at Sicily's too, and you guys got to try the peanut butter pizza at John's Incredible Pizza. John's Incredible Pizza. But anyways, that's gonna wrap it up. Man, the time just went by so damn fast.
It was enjoyable to have the conversation with you, Isaiah. It was
awesome,
great,
dude. Awesome first show, but yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for us. First episode in the books. Make sure you guys comment down below in the comment section. What is your top 5 favorite pizzas? Also, comment your thoughts on the Vic Fangio's controversy and your thoughts on whether, like, the NBA's resumption plan. And also, down below in the comment section, it's going to be pinned. It's going to be our No BS podcast page. Go check that page out. Give us a like on it. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, on our sister show, Quarantine Chats. Me, Steven, Trevor, Ryan Schreiner, Sri Anand. We will be joining you guys with Rachel L. Hill to talk all things Ohio sports with her Cleveland Browns. Is Baker Mayfield the right quarterback moving forward for the Browns? The Cleveland Cavaliers. Is Dante Exum a future superstar in the Cavs? Is Colin Sexton the guy that the Cavs should build around? And Ohio State football. We're going to be getting into Ryan Day, Justin Fields, and also one question we definitely got to ask her, right, Trevor? And that is this finally the year Jim Harbaugh beats the Ohio State University?
That ain't happening.
You have any final words, Trevor, for the audience before we wrap it up?
I'm curious what the next top 5 is going to be, where we rank our favorite stuff. I like this. It's a great, short, hot take on how we rank things. So, I'm curious what the next top 5 is going to be. Maybe our fans can give us a favorite top 5 to do. So, keep it interesting for them, make it entertaining for them. That's what we want to do. We want to bring joy and happiness to each and every one of you who watches this. And that's our main goal of this podcast, to be honest.
Yep. Well said, Trevor. To the fans out there, make sure you guys also, don't comment down below on the next top 5. We're going to make a separate post on that. We want you to give us your ideas on what our next Power 5 segment, what we should rank. Anyways, guys, it's been a pleasure. Oh, one more thing before we sign off, and that is a new thing that we're going to be doing on No BS is after every show, we're going to have a poll up on our page, No BS page, where you can vote on who won today's show between me or Trevor. So make sure you guys go right now and vote. Who won between your boy or Trevor?
We all know it's me with my baked ziti pizza. We all know it.
Hey man, I have a feeling the fans are gonna give me crap for not liking spice. I think I just embarrassed myself, Trevor.
I think you'll probably be fine, but let's see what ends up happening.
All right, guys. Trevor, it was a great show. It was a great pleasure doing it with you. Everyone, make sure you guys check out our page, and we'll see you guys all next week on Thursday night.
All right, take care, everyone, and be safe.
Yep, take care, guys. Good night.